Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Clarity That Leads. We are on episode 3 today, and I want our focus to be from busyness to impact. Business, B-U-S-Y-N-E-S, to impact. So still using my story, I want us to look at the cost of being busy without impact and how I discovered that. So how did I know that I was always busy without impact? First of all is the revenue coming in. I was always busy, always running, and no money in the bank. However, if I would look at my schedule, I would always be in meetings, I would always be in webinars, calls, but then there were no results from it. So what I want to address today is the costs of being busy without impact. So the first costs that really costed me was the burnout. So what happens with burnouts? You are not able to think, for start. Your body gives in. You are just tired. You feel sick and you can't do anything. That is how I felt. And with that, of course, I was not productive. My energy was drained. And that was a very heavy cost to bear. And I couldn't afford that. So the second cost of being busy without impact was I had so many missed opportunities. With burnouts, you don't have airtime, you don't have energy, you don't have the ability to even pick a call or even negotiate or even see an opportunity. I had so many missed opportunities. The third cost was erosion of brand trusts. Having these burnouts, because I really needed the money to pay the bills and all that, I had to show up, but I wasn't fully showing up for myself. I was showing up for me to get paid, not for my why, not for my purpose. And that led to an eroded brand, and the trust with clients just went. And why I'm saying it's costly is because it took me almost 2 years to build that brand back. The other cost was always being on reactive mode. And what that meant for me is that I would pick just anything to pay my bill. And of course, what happens with a reactive mode is that you are doing something for the sake of doing and not for the why, which is the true north, your true purpose. Then finally, I had misaligned efforts. Remember in episode 2, we talked about 80% you doing things that are not bringing food to the table, and 20% is what you try spending to pay your bill. Yes, I had misaligned effort, which with the burnout, of course, that can be explained with the burnout. So spending 80% running away from my purpose, 20% trying to remember what I truly do, and trying to pay my bills from 20% of my time. Yet 80% I couldn't account for it. I was always tired. Time was going. My stock, I was actually eating into my stock because my time is my stock for my business. And that actually translated even with my staff. We were all eating into our stock because, being in our business, the consultancy business, remember we said time is our stock. For every 1 hour, we couldn't account, but it came from me, the leadership. I couldn't account for my stock, so my team couldn't also account for their stock. So how did I break the cycle? Remember in episode 2, we talked about finding my why and my purpose, which I found mine with clarity, building and restoring of purpose. Now I had to break this cycle if I had to take care of my children and pay my bills and move away from negative cash flow to positive cash flow. I made small shifts in my life, in my business. Actually, what I did after my clarity in purpose, I had to have clarity in my strategy, in my execution of my business. And it started with small shifts. First of all, I had to refine my core purpose. Before, I was just a general management consultant. I had to refine my core services or my core offers and values into simple steps. I moved from a general management consultant to the clarity master. Now in management consultancy, I focused on strategy and growth for businesses, for leaders, and for consultants. So I refined my core services. Clarity is what I'm good at. You can't do a strategy without clarity. So my unique value proposition is in the clarity, and I capitalized on being a clarity master and developing strategy from a point of clarity. So the second thing I did for myself, I set up measurable milestones. From branding myself to setting up revenue targets, to identifying my target market, my target clients. So I was not having misaligned efforts anymore. I was actually using my energy, my time, my effort to my target clients. And that gave me a lot of fulfillment, because now that is when things now started shifting for me. I was not on reactive mode. I was very focused with my purpose and the small shifts that I had made. So the third shift that I made was practicing high impact action. What I did, I actually invested in myself and became very good in what I do. Being able to lead people from confusion to traction. I put in effort. From my experience, from what I had gone through, I made deliberate actions to be the best at what I do. I know I'm the best with clarity. I know with my clarity, I'm able to get businesses, people, consultants to the next level. Clarity in strategy. That is what I did for myself. So with that, I hope I've been able to give you steps from moving from busyness to impact, to being able to run your business with impact. See you on the next episode. For more details, please reach out to us on the contacts below. We'll be able to get you to the next level.